As you very well know, the most important part of photography is the light. And I think we're all in agreement here that it goes light, lens, camera in terms of technical equipment. And what I'm going to show you here is the lighting equipment that I use as a professional photographer. The what's, the whys, the hows, the all of it. So we're going to start with the whole thing, what it's built around, which is what goes in these cases here. Our whole system is built around this. This is the Broncolor Scoro E Wi-Fi. It's not the top of the line that has 3 ports. We've only got 2 ports here. It's good. It's not brilliant. It's good. Well, it's not brilliant. It's pretty darn good. It's very good. It's a bit cheaper. Now, the important thing to note here is all of this equipment is only used for test shoots, personal work, and very small, like sub £5,000 job. On any big job, we rent it or we turn it to a big studio, and it's all whatever kit we want is there. But this is my daily driver. Anything I create for fun, for personal stuff, is done with these. We have a couple of these. They're very good. 3200 watts, good flash duration, 8000 at T0.1. Good bit of kit, well built, looks nice. Always wanted Broncolor, here's some Broncolor. Now for those who don't know, these are not battery packs. I didn't realize this wasn't common knowledge. This is a capacitor and all of the electronics. And the reason is, the heads we use are really small. So this is a 3200 watt head, very small, very compact. You can even get it on a small C-stand, on a boom arm. Really lightweight because all of the electrics are in here. If you have a light that you plug this here straight into the wall, all of these gubbins would be in the light, and for one this big, it would be massive. Now, Bowens used to make a 1500 watt light, and it was about this big, this wide, very heavy, very cumbersome. This just means that you can have a lighter head, get it into easier to reach places, and also that you can control all of this from the floor whilst this is up in the air without having to tweak all the rest of it. It also has a Wi-Fi app, which is actually very good. I didn't think I'd like it, I didn't think I'd use it. We have it on the tether station, and it's permanently set up so the Digitech during a test shoot or personal work can adjust any lighting at my demand. It's very demand, that sounds a bit dickish, doesn't it? But you know, it's very good. These are the heads we use mostly. These are the Unilight heads. Got 3 of these cases, 6 of these heads. This is head number 3. Maybe you've seen my labeling video. Each case in here has 2 of these, and it also has a pack of 10 fuses for them because if they blow, the light stops working. So, bit of a downside, but I mean, that's what fuses are for, isn't it? Alongside that, we have 4 of the more premium heads, but from an older generation. These are the Pulsar F heads. These are 1600 watts from smaller packs I had, so you can put them in these, but only go to 9, not to 10 or 11, whereas they're 3200 watts. These are a bit battered and old now. These are more redundancy and spare, and they're my main squeeze. Apart from, I have a very new one of these zoom heads up here, but we'll get to that later. That's an important one. Now, in terms of modification for my Broncolor set, and there is another set of lights, 2 more sets of lights we're going to go through, but in terms of for this, we have these tubes here, which are my gel tubes. We have all the different colored gels, which we use a lot, and polarizing gels for when we want to cross polarize the light. That's when you polarize the light and the lens at the same time. So you can polarize one light source, but not other light sources. Very useful in still life photography. Don't buy cheap polarizing gel. It ruins your colors and everything else. Buy good stuff. It looks good. It lasts forever. It's a one-time purchase, but it is a bit spendy. I then have the 2 different sizes of reflectors. One's called like a P65 or P, I don't know what they're called. There's small, this size, and there's big, this size. If you want the light to be harder, use the smaller one. If you want it to be softer, use the bigger one. Softer, specular, harder, specular. Both are specular. We've got grid sets of both of them. Grids come out a lot. I like these quite a lot. I like these quite a lot. Different tools for different jobs, but reflectors, very good. Again, Broncolor prices, a little bit spendy, they're a couple of hundred each, but they are very, very good. This one's probably like 30 years old. It works fine. I don't have a single Bowens one that's 30 years old because you sit on them and they flatten. Now, if you can see me all the way back here, we have 2 other things, and that is this big thing here and another one over there. They're called hazy lights. The one in the corner is gridded. This one just has the diffusion. These are the nicest diffused lights you can get. They're called a hard box, not a soft box, because they are solid. So you don't get softbox sag, which is a weird phrase. Softbox sag is when you put a softbox inside and it dips a bit. And if you've got a brilliant surface that you're photographing, highly reflective, you then have to fix that in post. By using a solid box, you don't have to fix any of that sag in post. Great even light distribution, beautiful diffusion material at the front for the originals. I've got some additional ones as well, which are not actually originally Broncolor made, but great bit of kit on these big stands, which are really nice and easy to move around. very nice indeed. The only other thing we really have for the Broncolor, bar your traditional soft boxes that I won't get out because they're a bit boring, is perhaps one of the best modifiers ever, and that's this big boy here. This is a zoom reflector, so you can change the angle that it reflects at. You can have it wide, you can have it tight. These are great. This one lives on this head permanently on this big stand because at a pinch if we're shooting something, this will probably do it. Although, to be honest, thinking about it, it normally comes off. So maybe it doesn't. But it feels like it's the good, ready to go, kick your ass in, that's what you want. We then have some Pulsaflex soft boxes. They're fine. I won't show you a soft box, they're boring as sin, but sometimes you need a soft box. Now, because my video lights and other lights are Bowens mount, which is this here, I also have a lot of Bowens modifiers from over the years, like this big 8-foot Octabank. I've got every softbox size imaginable, Beauty Edition, all the rest of it. So this here is an adapter which goes from my Broncolor lights to a Bowens mount. It's pretty useful, but, and this is a big but, if you start hammering in burst mode at 3200 watts, this burns. So it's not perfect, wouldn't use it on a commercial job, but for prattling around in the studio, doing test shoots, personal work, creative work, this is pretty good. But let's dive into my next lighting kit. So here we have my backup and slightly different purpose lights. This is a Bowens quad, so this is a 3000 watt pack. Not quite as powerful as the Broncolor, but pretty close. It doesn't do fast, it doesn't do short flash durations. It's got 4 ports though. I've got 4 heads, and these are the Creo heads. These are more recent heads. They're all right. The white balance isn't as good. The color consistency isn't as good. Makes a pretty big bang when you fire it, but there's some modifiers that Bowens made that I just love, and this is one of them. This is the soft lighter. So this is kind of a huge reflector painted white on the inside. It's got a split diffuser here and a diffuser on the front. I love this modifier, and when I'm doing portrait work, this tends to be my key light. This is the light I love to use, and we plug it into this pack. We pray this doesn't blow because I don't have a backup, but if it does, we get the adapter out and we put this onto a Broncolor head. I know what you're thinking, just adapt the Broncolor head, but I like it. It works well. There's other reasons though. There's other modifiers which are really good with Bowens. And it's not that these modifiers don't exist elsewhere. I can get one of these almost identical by Broncolor, but I already own this. There we go. And I already use it. So why buy a really expensive Broncolor one for personal work when I've got this that cost me like 100 quid? This is the 200 Fresnel. This is a 3000 watt Quad X head in the back of it. It's got an aperture here so you can open and close it. We use this a lot for getting the label on a bottle when we're backlighting the bottle. This is the get the label. And I know you're thinking, why don't you use an optical snoot? Well, good question. I have those as well. And I have 2 of them. I have a Pixapro and an original Bowens where you use an Allen keyed focuser. We're getting a bit crowded in here. These are both great, but you can only put 1000 watts through them before they explode. I've cracked the glass 3 times in the Pixapro, and I'm scared to do the Bowens one because it will crack. What I really need is a fluter or something like that, but they're like 6,000–7,000. It's not gonna happen for personal work. And if you're saying, well, Scott, why don't you use it professionally and rent it yourself? Can you imagine how much it costs? 1, to own all the kit, and 2, to get a man with a van, to load it all in there, to get it there, to get it out, to load it out, to use it, to pack it down, to put it away, to put it in the van, to bring it back here, to bring it out, to put it all out again. It's cheaper to rent. And I know this because I used to do it that way, and it wasn't until I realised it was cheaper to rent and I was wasting loads of money that I just started renting it. You can always put a markup on the renting for the administrative cost of doing the rentals, but it's just not worth it. This is a much better system. It's chaotic, I know, but this works well. So this is my still stuff. Portrait light, label fixing equipment, 1 pack. Will I buy another pack? Yeah, if one's going for like 100 quid on eBay at some point, sure. I'm not gonna pay the actual value of these, which is like £1,000 secondhand, I think. I just, not for me. I'd buy another, a Graphite or something, Broncolor stuff. But yeah, great pack, good bit of kit. Let's put it next to the Bron one just for comparison. They're good, they're nice, there we go. Which leaves us one more light. Now normally they'd be used for this here, but we've got beautiful diffused window light today, so I thought, why overcomplicate it? But I have a couple of these, Aperture 600D Pros. Add that into the mix. Firstly, one of these is permanently used as my key light for my talking head videos. We use 2 of them bounced off the ceiling for when I'm showing you like instruction videos. We also use them when we're doing video test shoots. Now, I personally like these lights so much that we also rent them for shoots. We shot the Greg's campaign using these for the video. They're just great. They're simple, they're idiot-proof, they're well built. They are rental house build quality. So you can get a Godox light which is almost as good as this, but the build quality isn't designed for Muppets like me to drop kick them across the studio. These are just built properly. The cables are good, they're weather sealed. Everything about the build quality is good. And this is where photographers get confused with specs. They're like, oh, it's got the same spec as a Pro Photo. You know, this Godox light is the same as a Broncolor. It might technically have some of the same characteristics, but 2 things. 1, the standard error of measurement and the technical error of measurement won't be the same. 2, the build quality isn't the same. And build quality, when you're shooting day in, day out as a pro, is very important. So there we go. That is my lighting paraphernalia. This is what we do. This is how we light our work. And I'm pretty pleased with it. There's nothing I'm missing. I might get a 3rd Broncolor pack. That's on the cards at the moment. But apart from that, I think we're good to go. And I think this is my forever kit. I doubt I'll need to upgrade again in my lifetime. Not that I plan a short life, just that my last lot of Broncolor kit was 40 years old. So I've got another 40 years until retirement, I reckon. This should do me well.